Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, peace, and blessings be unto you from Yahuwah the Father and Yahusha the Son. So last night, man, oh man. Last night I was, dang. Well, actually that was this morning, early this morning. But the other night, I was walking home to, well, actually I wasn't walking home. I was walking to the supermarket after leaving my cousins. And, you know, out of nowhere, Matthew came to my thoughts. Well, not exactly Matthew, but it was just, I'll just get straight to it. So it was the verse on where he said, "Good teacher, what must I do to inherit everlasting life?" And Yahusha said, "Why do you call me good? No one is good except for him, Elohim." That popped in my head, and I was just like, and as I was just walking up the hill, and I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, yeah. So why would, this is me just talking to myself, because I'm crazy like that. I'm just like, yeah, why would, I don't understand why people would assume Yahusha is Yahuwah or Yahuwah is Yahusha in the flesh. Or why people think God is Jesus or Jesus is God. Like, even when you take out the biblicalness, just plain and simple, can a father be his son? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, voice crack. Leave me alone. It just doesn't make sense. So that just, as I was just walking to the supermarket, that popped in my head. I was just like, yeah. I'm like, that really don't make sense. And then when I got home after playing video games or whatever, I went onto YouTube, and out of nowhere, boom. Now, I don't follow that doctrine or that belief of what I just said a few seconds ago. But out of nowhere, on my For You page on YouTube, it popped up. Yahusha is Yahuwah, or Yahuwah is Yahusha. A secret revelation. A secret hidden revelation someone posted. I guess, people do that for clickbait. Well, I thought he did it for clickbait until I actually listened to it. It was like 5 minutes, and it wasn't even an actual person talking. It was one of those like voice narrating talking, like where they let the robot talk for you. You just type it in, whatever. But yeah, I was just like, I'm like, wow. And then I looked, and this dude has 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. And all I can do is pray. All I can do is pray that people, well, what I wrote, I looked at the comments as well. There was like 70 comments. And I went through majority of them, I want to say 80%. And where he was replying to, it seemed more robotic, like how he replied. He just kept putting the same thing over and over. And then there were some other people who were denying it, saying that he was a false teacher and stuff like that, and blah, blah, blah. But the way they were commenting towards it was not in love. Or it was very aggressive. Just, it reminded me of how I used to be so pushy or overzealous towards having people call on the name of Yahuwah and Yahusha rather than stop using the Greek words of Jesus and God. But, we can't force anyone to do these things. nor am I going to anymore. So, all that being said, I wrote I wrote some scriptures, and I gave my voice on it in the comment of his comment, and I pray. And that video was like 2 months ago, I think. But I pray that that person seen that comment. I try to do as much love I could on that, but at that point, if the person's not listening, it can only be left up to the Father, because their blood, those people who believe, those people who believe that Yahusha is Yahuwah or Yahuwah is Yahusha, if they don't see the error in that way, then I can only speculate what can happen to them. But I just pray that they really do, see the falsehood in that and repent. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. What that had to do with Second Ezra, wow. Praise Yah, because actually, I don't know why I wanted to bring that up, but before I was getting into Second Ezra about the walking the earth 7 days after death. But hey man, look. Just like in Truth Unedited video, at the end of the day, it's because we didn't study to show ourselves approved. We didn't take the time to diligently read the Bible on our own. And this is what I'm trying to teach. I'm not going to expose my family member that deeply like that, but an individual in my family, I have been trying to aggressively push. I keep saying aggressively, but I haven't been aggressively recently, but before in the past I did. I kept trying to push onto this person to, you have to read the Bible on your own. You cannot choose to go to church to assume your pastor, the teacher, to know everything. Like, there's nothing wrong with going to church to hear the word and stuff like that, even though it's watered down. But you need to, what you hear from them, you need to go back. When you come home, go back, read it for yourself, what you have heard, and see if it is proved to be true, what they have said, or does it go against it? But this individual sadly, still plays churchianity and has a very strong religious spirit, and all I can do is just pray. But moving forward, about I really don't know why I brought that up. About the I was trying to match it with something else. The whole walking and Yahusha, Yahuwah nonsense. But hope you're all doing well though. Let's get into 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 75. Where I'm going to end at, who knows? Let us begin. And I answered and said, if I have found favor in your eyes, O Yahuwah, show this also to your servant, whether after death, as soon as every one of us breathes their last breath, we shall be kept in rest until those days when you shall renew the creation, or whether we shall be tortured immediately. And he answered me and said, I shall show you this also, but do not include yourself with those who have mocked, or number yourself among those who are tortured. So he already told him, hey, look, Ezra, you good to go, baby. Nothing to stress about. For you have a treasure of work stored up with the Most High, but it shall not be shown to you till the last days. Hallelujah. Nice work, Ezra. And concerning death, the teaching is, when the deceived decree goes forth from the Most High, that one shall die, as the spirit leaves the body to return to him again, who gave it first of all, it adores the esteem or glory of the Most High. If it is one of those who has mocked and has not guarded the way of the Most High, who has despised his law and hated those who revere Elohim, such spirits do not enter into the dwelling places. Sorry, I'm a little messed up. I keep reading in a certain way that I add a word on there. There's not even a place on verse 80. Forgive me on that. Such spirits do not enter into dwellings, but shall immediately wander in torture forever, in grief and sorrow, in 7 ways. The first way, because they have mocked the law of the Most High. The second way, because they cannot make a good repentance, so that they now may live. The third way, they shall see the reward laid up for those who have trusted the covenants of the Most High. The fourth way, they shall consider the torture laid up for themselves in the last days. The fifth way, they shall see how the dwellings of the others are guarded by messengers in deep rest. The sixth way, they shall see how some of them pass over into torture. The seventh way, which is greater than all the ways that have been spoken, because they shall utterly waste away in confusion and be consumed with shame, and shall wither with fear at seeing the esteem of the Most High, in whose presence they sinned while they were alive, and in whose presence they are to be judged in the last days. And this is the order for those who have guarded the ways of the Most High, when they are separated from their mortal body. During the time that they lived in it, they labored to serve the Most High, and withstood danger every hour, so they might guard the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Therefore, this is the teaching concerning them. Firstly, they shall see with great joy the esteem of he who receives him, for they shall have rest in 7 orders. The first order, because they strove with great effort to overcome the wicked thought that was formed with them, so that it might not lead them astray from life unto death. the second order, because they see the confusion in which the beings of the unrighteous wander and the punishment that awaits them. The third order, they see the witness that he who formed them bears concerning them, that though out their life they guarded the law with which they were entrusted. The fourth order, they know the rest that they now enjoy, being gathered into their rooms and guarded by messengers in deep rest, and the esteem waiting for them in the last days. The fifth order, they rejoice that they have now escaped what is corrupted and shall inherit what is to come. And they also see the difficulty and toil from which they have been delivered, and the spacious freedom that they are to receive and enjoy in immortality. The sixth order, when it is shown them how their face is to shine like the sun, and how they are to be made like the light of the stars, being incorruptible from then on. The seventh order, which is greater than all that have been spoken, for they shall rejoice with boldness, and shall be confident without confusion, and shall be glad without fear, for they press forward to see the face of he whom they served in life, and from they are to receive their reward when esteemed. This is the order of the beings of the righteous, which from now on is announced, and the previously spoken are the ways of the torture that those who would not pay heed shall suffer from now on. Then I answered and said, shall there be time given to the beings after they have been separated from the bodies to see what you have described to me? And he said to me, they shall have freedom for 7 days. So that during these 7 days they may see that of which you have been told, and afterwards they shall be gathered into their dwellings. I think I'm going to stop right there. That was 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 75 to 101. And I think after this video, I'll read more on it. And if I feel if it's any extra info needed, I will add it on there as a part 3 or something like that. But there you have it. I wasn't expecting it to be that long to get to there, but because again, I haven't read this in a couple of months. So yeah, I haven't read this in a couple of months. I just remember him asking what will happen, and I thought I would get immediately into it, but it wasn't like that at all. So, but praise y'all, I got to it, and it didn't take that long. So yeah, it's just wow. You know, so I'm getting edified just from rereading it now, because before I didn't have that much clarity on it. I just knew bits and pieces of it because I listened to Sight to the Blind when he explained it. But now as I reread it, even when I read it before, I didn't really, comprehend it. But now as Yahuwah is peeling off the layers, I'm getting a clear understanding of it now. So now I say this. Again, in the previous video, if you watched all the way to the end, I said, we have been taught by religion, by Christianity, Catholics, Roman, Muslims, whatever religion, we have been taught a distorted version of what happens to us after death. Everyone, even, atheists or science, which is a religion, they have their own wonders and understandings, or what they want to believe and perceive what happens to us after death. Even the Egyptians try to do the same thing, but it is clearly written right here. I'm pretty sure there's some other books maybe that probably discuss this, but I haven't heard from it yet or read in them, so I can't say. But just from reading Ezra, second Ezra, we have been shown that this is what's going to happen. We will walk the earth 7 days after we have passed and be shown these things. The tortures and the tortures, and then the goods. And I'm pretty sure if I read more into it, it's probably going to explain some other things, but it's probably also going to show us when we're walking, how our life was. We'll be shown how the life we lived, and obviously we'll know what side we were on. So it just really makes you wonder, for those who are still listening and watching, it really makes you really wonder even more now that, like, wow, every person you can think of who passed away, or just if you want to, every single being who has passed away, they have went through this. Especially in these times, they've been through it. Those who are still partying, living their best life, whatever. The one I'm thinking of is the one Sight to the Blind was talking about. Some Dominicans at their party, I think they said something about the party got crashed down on or something like that. Something fell on the people. 200 people died and stuff like that. And, wow. Yeah, that's a lot of people who have just been, sent to 7 days, wandering the earth, seeing their demise of what's going to happen to them. But then, in my own personal life, I just think of the people who have passed away, those who I knew, and how they have been in the strong delusion for so long, and they're seeing all these things. They're probably confused. They're probably looking up to the sky, seeing the light of the esteem of the Most High, and then just curious out of their mind. And now then they're shown all these things. They're just walking the earth 7 days, seeing the bad things for those who did not worship the Father or, do His will. And then they are shown the good. And then probably somewhere in that line, they are shown their life. And then they'll know right then and there, like, wow, I guess I'm on the wicked side. And then so when the 7 days are done, they're sent to their dwelling places, as he said. And then this reminds me back of This reminds me of what I was just talking about way earlier. Well, two things I'm thinking of right now, but the first one is just what I was talking about earlier, how this individual has 11,000 people and can be leading them astray simply by just calling Yahusha Yahuwah or Yahuwah Yahusha. Please don't be one of these individuals that think so. Elohim is one. The second one I can't even think of it right now. It just sucks. Just knowing someone that they have chosen their faith and you can't do nothing about it. All we can do is pray for them. But that's all we can do. We just got to focus on ourselves individually, and whenever Yahweh desires to bring someone across our paths, to let them be known, to be saved, or for us to help them, then, hey, let's just try the best to help them. So yeah, it's just, wow. It is really insane. But hey, that's the reality we have to accept and know. Aside from that, I'm happy I got to know all this. I'm very happy that Yahweh reveals many things to me as we keep seeking after him. You know, I haven't felt like this way in a while because of my falling outs and stuff like that. And again, I said before, I need to get my life in check before it's too late. So I don't have to say anything to you guys about getting yourselves in check. I think those who are true believers, you already know in your heart that what you need to do and what you need to get right for yourself. No one has to tell you. You already know. Anyways, all praise to the Most High Yahweh and to his Ben, Yahushua HaMashiach. I pray that this video helps someone. I hope that it, just gets shared out to others, letting them know that, just for, I don't know, I guess, letting them know this what really happens after death, an interesting topic, to something to add on to your fellow believers, to letting them know. When you got someone like, maybe a child, not a child, but a young adult, maybe a teenager, as they're walking this faith, probably they're still wrapped up in Christianity, they might be wondering that question, what happens to us after death? I think I'll make another video like this, but shorter, for YouTube, and it's just gonna be, what happens to us after death, the biblical way, and then I'll post it. Hopefully I can make it shorter than this one, but y'all already know me. I love just talking y'all ears off. I could just go on and on forever, but I'll end it here. So until next time, everyone, stay peaceful, stay bliss, stay blessed. Love your neighbor as yourself, but above all, love Yahweh with all of your heart. And I'll talk to you all soon. Shalom.